Dr. Rogério Gribel is not Batman, nor does he drive a Batmobile, but his life revolves around his friends, the bats of the Amazons. He's a prestigious zoologist from the National Institute of Amazonian Research. His co-worker in studies is Aldenora, a mother who includes these little animals in her family, something her little son doesn't quite seem to understand. Together, they prepare to steal a few secrets from the night in their attempt to defend, from a position of scientific understanding, a zoological group that is totally unknown and yet fundamental to the Amazon ecosystem. Over a period of 15 years, their talent and sensitivity has gotten them closer to the unknown world of bats, exploring the Amazon basin with the main purpose of making inventory of their populations and studying their role in the framework of this enchanted forest. They know where to look for them in spite of being invisible, and where to extend the nets for a temporary capture. Rogério and Aldenora are a luxurious scientific couple for this luxurious place.
I have been working for the past 15 years in the Amazon region, with interactions between mammals and plants, especially bats and plants. And during this time I have worked closely with my assistant in field and laboratory work. Aldemora is a self-taught woman with a special knack for natural history, for understanding the ways not only of animals, but of flowers and fruits also, and especially of the relationships between the one and the other. It is a great satisfaction for me to have been able to work with her for so many years. She's a person that I trust, and we sometimes comment on the interesting interaction that exists between the animals and plants, and how it also exists between us. I mean, on a personal and a professional level as well.
Não fique nervosa.
Night soon lets itself be caressed, because bats and the night are the same thing. Aldenora and Rogério are respectful in their work with these newcomers. They know that each specimen should only remain the amount of time necessary for their identification and biometric measurements. The fright these free spirits receive is such that they could suffer a heart attack due to the stressful and unexpected situation. The methodology used takes this into consideration and gives prompt results. This little imp will be free again in a matter of minutes, and its friends all the smarter in matters of flying mammals. Aldenora recognizes that her work beside the doctor all these years has opened her eyes as far as these animals are concerned, about which she had heard so many horrible stories.
I didn't know this animal existed when I was a child. When I lived in the inlands, I couldn't imagine that an animal like this existed. I discovered the bats when I began to work with Rogério. People in general are convinced that all bats are blood-drinking animals. When people see a bat close by, they generally want to kill it and run inside the house, closing the doors immediately, because they think the bat is going to suck their blood. That's not true. I would think that way myself if I didn't know this animal, but I do know it, and I know that it won't attack anyone. It feeds on fruit, on insects, and that's why it's good for the house. Believe me, it won't bite anyone.
Precisely, some bats in the Amazonia are frugarivorous. They only eat fruit. We have filmed them upside down, eating the fruit of a ficus tree, as you can see for yourselves. Thanks to their sense of smell, they know when the fruit is ripe. The tree helps them by giving off a specific perfume when the time is right. The woodland needs them because in exchange for a delicious meal, these animals will let the open seeds fall to the ground or digest it in its excrements. You feed me, I'll carry you. That is the firm agreement that these two thriving families have reached. Other species are more sybaritic. They feed by drinking out of this immaculate cup, the corolla of the flower that is found in the palo de balsa tree. An intoxicating nectar is concentrated there that drives the Artibeus lituratus mad, a large-sized bat that takes advantage of these flowers only at night. "45 million years have been needed for this show to go on. It looks like science fiction, but it's not. This is the way Mother Nature is, and our ignorance makes it even more surprising." Rogerio himself refuses to answer a numerical question. How many different bat species can be found in the Amazon jungle? Modern science assures that the figure is approximately 140, but he is convinced that there are many more, although we may never get to know the exact number. The bats are once again attracted by the nectar, in this case an amount not easily spurned of 2,000 liters per tree. But the heart of the matter is that they are unknowingly being used by the plants as exchanges of pollen, a guarantee for the health and genetic variety of the jungles.
Bats are the pollinizers of various types of trees and are also the scatterers of seeds for a large amount of Amazonic jungle vegetable species. These processes are very important because when they carry the pollen on their fur, they are transporting the plant's sexual organs, either in their mouths or in the digestive tube, and spread a long distance away from the mother plant. This way they are promoting a valuable genetic flow, scattering these trees' offspring.
These two human beings, aside from carrying out a disciplined and efficient task, humanize science with their care for a land so often mistreated. Rogerio and Aldenora form a part of the scarce clan of people who enjoy their work. The jungle is safe with them, and the old Amazon is understood inside and outside of its frontiers. We follow the night stream, motorized and out in the open air, plowing through a road in which, throughout its 147 kilometers, there are 126 bridges, a world record. As do the oil lamps, thousands of eyes follow our steps. Impassive animals contemplate us from the water. They're not in a hurry. We are. We have an appointment to keep. This is our hostess, Dr. Zilke Campos, a habitual investigator of the Amazonic fauna, who is now developing her fieldwork in the Mato Grosso, right in the center of the Pantanal. And here is where we have come to find out if what is said about her is true. We have been told that she leads a group of men and that her favorite animal is one of unpredictable reactions. Zilke has been risking her life these past 13 years for an unalterable nature.